We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Cam Smith, Miami Dolphins cornerback, rookie. They drafted in the second round. Now, I know I made a video on him like right after they drafted him, but I really wanted to focus on how he would fit in Fangio's scheme, so I'm making this video. And there's a couple things that are really important that I want to point out. Is the versatility is very important in the Fangio defense. Cam Smith brings the positional versatility. He can play outside, inside. That flexibility is hugely important to the Fangio defense. They already have that player in Ramsey who's going to play outside and inside, and I think having them both on the field at the same time, you can just make them interchangeable on where they line up, and I think that makes the defense less predictable. They have actually pretty similar skill sets. Obviously, Ramsey is an all-pro. You need to see Cam Smith step up and play, but they do have a similar play style. Now, can Cam Smith play up to that level? That's something to be seen. But I think he has a lot of talent. He's a very smart, instinctual player. He's very athletic. But having that, versatility to play inside, outside will make it very difficult for teams to game plan for them. And it will, when they're you have Ramsey outside, Cam Smith inside, it won't be as, easy to guess what coverage they're running as well. And then obviously there's coverage versatility. Extremely important in Fangio's defense. He runs a mix of everything. He has a lot of split safety looks. They run a lot of cover 4, cover 6, but they run from all types of coverage. They run man and zone alignments. Things like they run a lot of zone, but then they run a lot of zone match, man match. So it's a lot of match responsibilities, even in zone coverage. And Cam Smith is very comfortable doing all that. He's a lot of experience doing that. And when it comes down to leverage and alignment, that's the key to Fangio's defense. Everything is calculated, the leverage, alignment, it's all very calculated to distribute these routes, maintain perfect route distribution out there. And it's very big. It's a very big strength of Cam Smith. He understands his leverage perfectly, whether it's in man, zone coverage, all the different types of leverages that he plays. He has great ball skills as well, and it's just something that's very important to this defense, and we're going to break those things down a little more slowly right now. We get to see him in off-man coverage, matching from deep. You got to be able to do this in a Fangio defense. This type of thing translates to, if he's playing quarters on the outside and he's matching the number one. These are things that is something that you will definitely see him do. You see how fluid he is in his pedal, the anticipation of the break. He runs this route basically for the receiver, but then, everything here is so smooth. This is definitely something that translates perfectly to the next level and in Vic's defense. So we'll just watch him here. Look how smooth he is in his pedal. Everything is balanced, under control. He's a great athlete. The body control, it's all there. And now he sees this receiver really start to sail vertically here. He opens up his hips, and even though he opens up his hips, he's able to sync and match. Look at his feet, perfectly in sync with the wide receiver. That is the definition of mirror and match, and that is something that you got to be able to do at the next level. Running that route for the receiver, and if that ball is thrown good, a decent throw, catchable for the receiver, it gets picked off, but the quarterback basically just throws it over and away. Great, excellent coverage. The things that translate perfectly into the Vic Fangio defense. Something that gets underlooked is your ability to play the off-man coverages, which also comes with zone match. Just matching number one on a vertical plane. You got to be able to do that to succeed in the Fangio D. He's also comfortable playing down in the flat. Cover 2 types of looks. Fangio loves to run cloud. Have those corners squat down, play down in the flat, because he runs those quarter looks, and then he'll rotate one side into the cover 6 where they're playing that corner's down in the flat, and he's very comfortable leveraging multiple concepts. He sees number one go straight to the flat. He starts to feel it, but he's reading the QB's eyes still, so he's just a pure zone defender here, and he feels this guy start to leak out. He just understands what concepts the offense that are trying to run, and he starts to sneak off, take away both throwing lanes from this, so he can come off and take away both, and it forces this guy to throw it down in the flat and end up completing a pass for -1 yards. Amazing play discipline from Cam Smith. That is an excellent reason he will fit into the Fangio defense again. Those types of defensive concepts he will be running, and he definitely is very comfortable in those areas. His technique in press is pretty good. He's comfortable here. He actually gets called for holding on this play, which is maybe he kind of holds a little bit, but it's nothing where he affects the route of the receiver really. But good coverage. You got to be able to play press. I'll definitely show some examples of him playing press. It's not something I think Fangio does a ton of with his defenses, but there's definitely times where he likes to mix it up. There will be games where he goes cover one more often than not and have the corners come down and press, and he does a good job, whether it's going to be a bump and run or like a soft press, and he will get hands on or he can play with his feet, but he does a great job of staying over the top, maintaining his leverage here, and even though, maybe he gets a little grabby right there, he stops, lets go of it. That is something that's usually not going to get called, but it's just nice to see, and then flip his hips back around, stay in the hip pocket, and then the quarterback ends up getting sacked. So pretty nice work there from Cam Smith. We got Cam Smith right here working down in the slot. Just want to show this play just for the positional versatility. He can come down in the slot, play down in the red zone, man-to-man coverage, just match up. These are things you're going to be seeing from Fangio. They run a lot of match coverages, zone match, man match, even when they're in quarters, cover 6. Like, you end up getting in distribution, you're going to be a lot of the times just man-to-man on your guy, and he does a great job down in the red zone. He stays square, he stays patient, waits the receiver to commit, gets a hand out, realizes he has the wrong hand on, gets left hand on top, right hand around the hip, uses that perfect technique at the catch point, the nice wrap technique, get around, play through, swat the ball down, the hook and swat. Very nice work there from Cam Smith. It's a play that perfectly translates into what Fangio is trying to do as a defense here, where the corner, is playing more of the flat defender, cover 2 to their side of the field. They do this a lot, whether it's just cover 6, one of the sides. It's just they have this pre-snap look where it's very vanilla, basic look, and either this corner can drop and be like a pure quarters guy, or he can be a flat. But Cam Smith just does a perfect job of leveraging both concepts. They're running basically smash to his side of the field, which is like a cover 2 beater, and he just maintains that leverage. He's reading the QB's eyes. He knows exactly what's coming. He's not staying too tight to this where they'll throw the corner over the top, but he's not getting too much leverage where they just get down, throw that flat route immediately. He sees that he also has some help. The hook defender is getting pretty far outside on his leverage, so he just gains depth, takes away that throwing lane. Got to be able to do that when you're running those types of defenses. I think this is, why they were people were a little surprised they drafted the corner. I think Fangio just watched his film and thought he was the perfect fit for this defense and just fell in love, and that's why they used that second round pick on him. 3rd and 3 situation. These are the types of, leverages and alignment you'll see out of the corners, whether, they're going in like a 2-read palm type look. This is something that is very similar to that, where they're just flat foot read here on the outside, and they're just reading, inside 2-1, or it could be 1-2 depending on the coverage. But once he sees number 2 go straight outside to the flat, he's just going to close down on it, squat on it, while number 1 gets redistributed to the slot guy, and he just recognizes this instantly. And it's a 3rd and 3 situation, so he closes. He's got a really nice click and close ability. He's sometimes he'll get a little wild with his tackles. You can see how low he is here, and doesn't have the best technique, but he does finishes his tackle a lot. And this is a situation where he thought he had to fly downhill because he wants to stop this. He ends up, guy ends up being a little bit short of the first down marker there. It's an excellent click and close ability. These are the types of defenses, reading 2-1, 1-2. If 2 goes straight to the flat, number 1 goes inside, you end up, taking that with your match. And it's just a very, great part of that Smith brings, that versatility, that mental processing instincts that you look for in a defensive back. And defensive back play is so important for the success of this Vic Fangio defense. I just want to show this play that he's definitely can get involved versus the run. He's a very willing tackler. He'll get physical. This is not an easy running back to tackle, and he ends up making a nice play. So, he's not in the slot here, but when he will be down in the slot at times, you're going to be part of the run fit. Fangio likes to go with lighter boxes and have more DBs on the field. So if they do end up being involved with the run fit, you got to be able to, get down there, get dirty, get physical. Smith, very willing to do that, even when he's not even, supposed to be involved here. Just the receiver releases the inside, and he ends up, filling into this gap here because this safety is getting cut off by the receiver. So he has to, take this part here, fill that crack back block, and then makes a strong tackle because that guy gets a nice stiff arm on him. But he's got some nice grip strength there, decent length to him, and he uses that play strength to drag that running back down, who's a decent player within himself. South Carolina in a quarters look, leverage, alignment, so important. He's got this outside leverage. They're in this tight, pre-snap alignment here. The corners are the receivers, and he's just flat foot read. He sees the quarterback. He's reading the receiver through the quarterback. He sees he's already, at the, apex of his drop. He's already, set his feet. He's ready to throw it. He's already breaking. This is great anticipation. This has got to be something you're going to be able to do in quarters because he likes to get, aggressive flat foot read corners out of those quarters look. and then just close on this to the outside. Like from where he was aligned pre-snap, like, and he has that athleticism to close. Ball is slightly thrown behind. Like you're gonna not have the most accurate throw. Even if it was a pretty accurate throw, he probably gets there at the catch point and gets a hit on it. But he gets the interception on the inaccurate throw. That's a high level play. Those are the types definitely will see this coverage being ran a lot in the Fangio defense quarters. Cover 6, definitely the staples there. But they will run so many different types of coverages while changing up, your alignments, your leverage, whether you're in zone match, man match, that will all change. And Cam Smith has that versatility to change with it. He is at the bottom, kind of tough to see, but it's a 4th and 8 situation, and he's just, playing down into the flat, and he does a good job just disguising these coverages, baiting throws. When you're doing this, you're showing this press look, you let that receiver, you get a little bit of a hand on him to try to disrupt, but you're on the backside of a 3-by-1 and you're this flat defender. He understands the situational, he has very good situational awareness. 4th and 8, they're probably going to try to throw it near the 6. Backside of the 3-by-1, you have nothing to worry about coming out into the flat from like a number 2 other than maybe the running back, but you see he's coming out a little bit late, working towards the middle, so you gain depth to take away that throwing lane, get the interception because they're trying to just beat it behind you. Very good play, baiting that throw. Another area, obviously, he'll definitely be in those situations. And I think, he comes in the team, he's one of the better, flat defender corners. He's got a lot of experience running it, him, Ramsey. Things, Xavier Howard hasn't done a lot of. Kid or Kohu last year, they were just running a lot of man coverage. So it's something they're going to have to make an adjustment to. But it shouldn't be like they were asked to do some of the hardest jobs in football. So it shouldn't be like that hard for them to adjust. And then this is one of the best secondaries in football. Last play breakdown, just sitting off, matching onto the outside. This is definitely an area that translates perfectly to the Fangio defense, just that click and close ability. Corners, you got to be able to do this when you're playing with the off leverage. He understands, he's playing off man. He has that leverage, whether it's, man match, zone match, doesn't matter the situation. At the next level, it's going to be still very similar if you're just number 1 and you're matching him if you break into the inside anyways. Once he starts to break, he anticipates this, he closes, he maintains this leverage, he's flat foot read, and then quick transition downhill, closes, gets there perfectly at the catch point, plays through the hands, high level stuff from Cam Smith, all very important to this defense's success. So as you guys can see, I broke down a lot of the same plays, but I also got some different plays in there, but also just really wanted to take the focus of how he fits into that Vic Fangio defense, which I think he does exceptionally. He's the perfect scheme fit. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.